Our word of the day is decorum. It's a noun and it means proper behavior or conduct. A synonym for it is propriety. So please go ahead and use the right click trick to get the definition and any other synonyms on your graphic organizer for the word of the day. The examples I'm about to go through in this video, you'll find them on your agenda if you want to copy and paste from there. Now, when I first thought of the word decorum, what came to my mind first was that whenever someone is a victim of some kind of injustice, there are always people who come out and try to attack the decorum of that victim. Well, they deserved this because they blah, blah, blah. And they try to use an attack against a character or an attack against behavior to try to justify some kind of injustice. So the first example I wrote was, there is no perfect victim, yet some people attack the decorum of a victim to justify an attack. If you've ever heard like he was asking for it or she was asking for it, that's an attack on decorum. So that was my first thought for this word. But then I started applying it to Odysseus. So this is the connections to our curriculum. And I think a lot of us, when we are frustrated with Odysseus, we're frustrated with his decorum. So I was thinking, throughout the Odyssey, did Odysseus exhibit the decorum of a hero? Now, I don't have an answer to that. That's for you to consider, and it definitely applies to the essay we're going to be working on soon. But that's just a question to have in the back of your mind. Was Odysseus's behavior, his conduct, was that what we expect of a hero? All right, so as I said, decorum is proper behavior or conduct, propriety. So today in class, we're going to look at how Odysseus' story fits the pattern of the hero's journey. We're going to break down the Odyssey into this pattern. And, if we were to use this pattern to define hero, then we could say, yeah, well, he's definitely a hero because he did this, this, and this, his actions. But we also should consider his behavior and his decorum. Did his behavior, did his decorum fulfill our idea of a hero? So things to consider as we start working on this hero project and essay. How would you describe the decorum of a hero? Do heroes have to be perfect? Even if they don't have to be perfect, which behaviors can you overlook and which behaviors are unforgivable? So can you overlook being a little bit selfish, but it's unforgivable to be excessively violent? Or can you overlook excessive violence, but it's unforgivable to be completely selfish? These are all opinion questions. This is where this essay becomes kind of fun and argumentative. So a STEAM connection to decorum is that all professions, so even teaching, but all professions, and especially professions in the fields of science, medicine, and research, expect a certain decorum from their practitioners. So in this image of a scientist, we see that she is wearing sort of precautionary clothing. She has gloves on. She's wearing a lab coat. She has protective eyewear, which are glasses. The environment in which a scientist works has to meet certain standards. There's a level of decorum we expect from professionals. Doctors especially. Doctors have to exhibit certain behavior. And we all know if we walked into a doctor's office, like what kind of behavior would be completely unacceptable. So decorum relates to the professional world. Essentially, people are expected to act professionally and appropriately depending on their career, and this is an example of decorum. All right, so I just want to leave us with this thought on decorum. Does Odysseus exhibit the decorum of a hero? He is a hero in the traditional sense, based on his story, based on his achievements, but does he exhibit the decorum of a hero? In our modern world, with our modern expectations, does Odysseus live up to what we expect a hero to be? And so those are the ideas we are going to be exploring.